Welcome back, everybody, to Warlord of SBAS plays Torment, Tides of Numenera, Episode 6. Last time, we went into the main square and discovered that someone was being executed. We talked to Tiber here, and apparently it's his friend. Tiber wanted us to go to the council district? The district where the leadership is. Talk to Singolian, get a sigil, and talk to this guy and get a paper. Anyway, and now we're gonna go back because we did all that. So let's go.
I'm going.
Yay! Run!
All right.
That's right. You can press that button to see everything, which is useful because a lot of the stuff can be questionable whether you can touch it or not. And I want to touch everything. Everything.
Yes.
More running. Ain't this exciting? Alright. Now we talk to Yen, the overseer. Hello, Yen. The overseer of this execution raised an eyebrow as you now show him your badge of office. Yes, sir, he says. How can I help you? A magistrate, what is he doing here? This man has a full pardon. Release him immediately. He looks over to over the stay of execution, paying close attention to the signature. Finally, he nods. This is all in order. One moment. He turns and calls the levies. Unmake the death of the condemned and set him free. He is pardoned. He turns back to you and bows. There you are, sir. All taken care of.
Making a note.
Riss. As the levies march off and the crowd disappears, Riss steadies himself, not quite recovered from his ordeal. Finally, he raises his head and focuses on you. If you're the one who got me out of that nightmare, thank you. But where's that? He eyes settle on Tiber. There you are, you slippery bastard. Now where's the money? If I went through that for nothing, that bastard let me out to dry. I knew it. He chokes with emotion. A whole day, Tiber. I stood my guts up there for a whole day. He steps back, spreading his hands. Yes, about the money. You see, Riss, I was hoping to get a reward for turning in the fellow who sold us the brandy without telling us about his secrets, but he snarls, there's always a but when it comes to money, isn't there? I should have known. You only said you'd pay me so I wouldn't squeal on you, and you only saved my skin to save your own. He smacks his fists together. Now am I going to have to fight through your friend to get to you, or are you going to step out from behind him and take it like a man? Oh, calm down, both of you. Riss, tell me it from the beginning. Indigo and blue. Riss spits and then wipes his lips. There isn't much to tell, Captain. Silvertongue here talked me into a dirty job, then disappeared like a bicus, and left me holding the bag when it went sour. Oh, Riss, says Tiber. Can you blame me for not running when I had a chance? You would have done it the same. And besides, if I hadn't, we wouldn't have both. We would have both been sentenced to death, with no one to free either of us. Look at that. If my tattoo friend hadn't come along, we'd both be executed in any case. Riss, He stabs a finger at Tiber's face. You only wanted to free me because you knew you'd be next. on the block once the devourer ate me. Let's see. The devourer would have found you guilty, Tiber? Is this true? As far as it goes, you would have learned about me if he had eaten Riss. And I did manage to escape the levies when they showed up, looking for us. But I didn't abandon you, lad. You put his hands on his heart, Riss. I escaped the levies and saved you from the devourer of wrongs, because I love you and did not want to see you die. You have to believe me. Escaping the levies was just good luck. That much is true. Do I? Riss says, cracking his knuckles. What was the job? Tiber said we were transporting black market booze to Murad Julius, I think. Julius? But he didn't tell me that he'd hidden state secrets in one of the bottles using some liquid Numenera trick, which turned a slap on the wrist crime into a damn death sentence. Death sentence, Tiber says, with an uneasy grin. You're alive, aren't you? I'd have told him eventually. Ignorance was supposed to keep him safe. He glares at Tiber from under lowered brows. That as it may be, but you certainly seem to know when the levies were going to come calling. He looks at you. The council someone got wind of the deal and came after us. Funny how I was the only one home when they knocked on the door. I'm with Riss on this, Tiber. You should make amends to him. He's the one who suffered here. That's right, Riss snarls, and you can start by giving me my share of the spoils. Riss, you don't know what you're talking about. I never got paid, I promise you. This isn't over, you self-serving bastard. Riss jabs a finger in Tiber's face. Hide behind your friend if you like, but he won't keep you safe forever. You're dead, Tiber. You hear me? Dead. Everything's going well then.
Don't mind if I do.
Well, let's talk to our new companion like we did with the other two.
Thanks for helping me free Riss, lad. Not that the little ingrate appreciated it.
So, was it like Riss said? You only freed him so you wouldn't be implicated? I'd be a liar if I had said that wasn't part of it, he says, looking at his boots. But I really do care for the boy, and I wouldn't wish him harm for all the world, and I could have run, he chews his lips. I could have. Probably not far, though. Do you think he'll make good on his threats? Should we be watching our backs? I wouldn't worry about it, he says, chuckling. Riss doesn't have as many friends as he thinks he does. I was practically the only one. Unless he makes friends of my enemies, but best not to think about it. It won't happen. Let's see. You're a good friend. Why not? Whatever red means. Thank you for that, he says, avoiding your eyes. It's refreshing to be believed. He'll work it out eventually, hopefully after I'm gone. Tell me about yourself. Sure. So you're a captain. Retired, he says, raising his hands in surrender. I've been on many, more or less, for a handful of decades now. Oh, I've been on my own, sorry. He winks, still having Still, having a captaincy under your belt opens doors, lifts dresses, and drops trousers. So I tend to wave it around whenever I can. What's your story? All the usual. Farm boy joins one war or another. He doesn't die, but gets a sound spanking by the world until he learns to spank it back. Oh my. I want to hear more about your background. And I don't blame you, he declares, clapping you on the shoulder. But I'll warn you, I've never had a handle on what people consider too much information. His smile crinkles in the corners of his eyes, never look for one either. He claps his hands. Go on, ask your question. I've got answers for everyone. Tell me about your life as a soldier. Well, it wasn't the best or the worst, he said with a shrug, but I started at the bottom, fell out of the side and ended up a gallows glass on my own. He sighs. It's not an easy life being a mercenary, but you try to fight for causes you believe in, and avoid striking blows that aren't deserved. And you try not to fail at both, while the realities of life batter you into new shapes, change you. Some of the best days of my life, those, despite the tears. So the realities of life change you how? Not one for light questions, are you? He rubs his hands together. My father raised me to be honest. Well, honestly, works on a farm. Animals don't lie to you much. As a rule, but as a soldier, he squints. But it's like this. First night on the camp, I was mugged by my sergeant and left for dead. All because I thought an honest face meant an honest heart. It's the honest ones that you have to watch out for. So I've adapted my approach over the years. I reward kindness with kindness, cruelty with justice, and foolishness with object lessons on the ways of the world. He winks, but there's something somber there. Everyone has their lessons to learn in this life, but best that your teachers are kind men. I always say. Who have you fought for? Phew, he says, with a misty look in the eye. I fought for a number of causes over the years. My first fight was alongside the rugged cattlemen of the plowshires, trying to keep the slaves' families of the Scottish Protectorate from getting their hands on their bird folks grazing land. He shrugs. But I've been all over the map and off the edges too, having good times and bad. Went with Alia rebels, the White Company. Even fought in the endless battle for a while until I figured out my commander was lying to me. Walked away from hefty purse on that one, I'll tell you, but it was the right thing to do. He winks. And the safest and the sanest. Should have left even earlier, pay or no pay. Can you tell me about the endless battle? Of course I can, he says, but for a moment he seems he won't. His mouth works, but no words come out. It was more a nightmare than a war, he says at last. We marched but one morning to take a certain hill, and we took it. He winches, then a shivery little ripple crossed the battlefield, and we were back on our march, heading for the same hill. Only this time, the other side routed us. I lost this arm. He shows it to you, smooth and unmarked. You'd think the commander would have given us the rest of the war off, but no. His eyes go hard and grim. He kept making us fight until the waves of time died down and we took the damn hill and held it. He smiles wryly. I'm certain I died a few times myself, but here I am still, well and handsome as ever. What's the point of the endless battle? The fighting itself is pointless. All these lads and lasses dying for his cause centuries old. He smirks sadly, his gaze distant. Now I know it. I just described any war, but we both know that certain people make a tidy profit from bloodshed on a grand scale. And the endless battle, well, it's endless, and that makes it endless profitable, endlessly profitable. All right, cool. New questions. Ask away. Tell me about your background. Alright, that was just a line of questioning. I want to hear a story from your past. Tell me about your first battle. He says, I nearly missed it. As I said, my sergeant knocked me out and stripped me naked and hit the road with his friends and all the best weapons and armor in a stolen wagon. He clucks his tongue fondly. I woke up with a throbbing head and blood in my eyes too. The new sergeant screaming that I'd best throw a sack and grab a stick because the protector was coming. I can't recall much about the battle itself. Lots of screaming and most of it mine. I remember hitting a number of heads with the stick and I lost the sack at some point. No one seemed to prepare to comment with all the dying. He sighs. At any rate, the protector kicked our teeth and then drove us back to a little herd town at the far eastern end of the Plowshire. He winces at the memory. Well, the herd folk there, they were doing all they could for us, feeding us, binding our wounds, because, well, we've been defending their town, hadn't we? He spreads his hands, trying to at any rate, but they hadn't known the protector had also stolen all their Anine for provisions, the whole herd, and was headed south with them. He sighs. Come winter, those folk are going to starve to death. How the herd got stolen is a different tale. Villagers on all sides we were. He shifts uncomfortably. My commander wasn't going to tell him, but I couldn't stand it. We were meant to be saving these people, and here we were robbing them just as surely as the protector had. So that night, the new sergeant and I borrowed 2 rasters and a sonic punch. I have no idea what those are. And flew south until we found a stolen Anine. We screamed, died at the herd until they bolted, then chased them all the way back north. He shakes his head. What a young hero I was. What a fool. We nearly got knocked out of the sky a dozen times by the fire throwers, but we were sure that once we got the Anine away, they wouldn't dare turn back for them. They knew we were being reinforced the next morning, you see. He chuckles. Eovia, whatever. Got demoted for that stunt. We both got a week for being weak in the brig besides. But the herd folk were damn grateful. He winks. Some of them several times. Oh my. I want to hear about the mercenary work. Too many stories in that stack to tell in a single sitting, he says, scratching his head. Well, I'll stick to the one with the least amount of back alley murders and It's too lovely a day for a grim tale of bloodshed. He squints at the air. It was just after I left the military life. I was desperate to make a name for myself as a mercenary. Too desperate, as it turned out. He clears his throat. I was drinking in my favorite bar and felt a soft touch on my shoulder. It was a lady. Navarni nobility. She said, and in need of a bodyguard. Groaning, he covers his eyes. And that body, those eyes, I accept on the spot, of course. She tried telling me why she needed me, something about assassination at a ball, but I was too busy watching her hips shift beneath the dress. I followed her around the ball with barely a thought in my head. Then halfway through the party, she excuses herself and comes back with in different clothes. He chuckles, though. There's no humor in it. She tells me that to anyone who asks, I'm her husband. Baron Gorsek of Navarnia. And that we have to leave immediately. We worked our way towards the door and were stopped by the host of the ball and a phalanx of city guard. They demanded to know who I was. He grimaced. Terrified, but right on cue, I say, I'm Baron... these fantasy names. Naikes of Gaverline. And this is my knife. He shakes his head. 30 days in the blocks as an accessory. Turned out she stole her fortune and living gems from the upstairs bedroom. She wasn't any kind of noble, just a common beautiful thief. And the next time I saw her, she was dead. Life isn't fair for anyone, and that's the truth. Tell me about one of those good times you mentioned. Oh, I've had plenty, he says, running his teeth over his lips. More good times than bad. Even as a gallo glass. But of course there's one that stands out. But he isn't smiling now, despite his words. My partner at the time, my old sergeant, and I heard of a scrap growing in the border between two mercenary armies over territory. He scratches his mustache. We got there and knew it was going to be a bloodbath the moment someone went for a weapon. They've been riled for too long, so see, it's a sad thing to see professional killers turn violent. Now, I was thinking we should get back on the road and as far from the fight as possible, but my partner, he was a tinkerer. A soft gleam rising in his eyes. He had these two rings he was messing with at the time. Claimed they could link minds. He wanted to apply one on each side and get them to see things from the other's point of view. I couldn't talk him out of it. He snuck around in the dark of night, cursing and thumping, setting up the damn things in the rival camps. He ran back to the distant hills to watch. He rubs his eyes. And all night long, we heard strange things, sort of wet sounds, laughter, happy singing. He runs his hands through his hair. Then dawn came and there was a different kind of war going on in the mud below. He flashes a grin. The kind where everyone wins. Turns out that once they got a taste of each other's thoughts, they found out they hadn't wanted to fight each other after all. Not exactly. And that was heavier for you. You finished with a touch of a smile. Always bringing out the truth in people. Better man than I deserve, certainly. Excuse me. Who is this Avia?
I'm ready to learn something new.
Oh, I got experience for that. He says I was climbing. Let his name slip, did I? Aviana was the old sergeant I mentioned. First we were partners, then more than that, but by a long shot. He sinks his thumbs beneath his belt, but well, you know, things. They change. Grinning, Tiber shakes his head. Huh. I haven't thought about this man in years. Ah. That was why I haven't thought about him too hard. Let's talk about something else now. We'll finish up this conversation next time. Until then, remember to embrace the chaos or you'll go bad. Bye.